Yeah, it's true.
First thing I wanted to ask you about is I saw you say, I don't know if it was last year or sometime in the last 2 years, that if you ran for president, you would consider Thomas Massie to be your vice president. And then you also
Yeah.
responded to me on Twitter and said Thomas Massie should be president one day. I've liked him since I saw him stand up against the Communist CARES Act and all the lockdown stuff. What makes you think that? And is he like the front runner in your mind still, if you ever did run?
If we actually had people that looked at the qualifications and actually examined the every single vote in the way in which every single congressman voted, Thomas Massie would be the front runner. There's no questions asked. I was positively blown away by him when I had him on my show, and we really got into it. And I realized he's an absolutely brilliant man. He basically lives off of his land, and he does not capitulate to the left or the right. I mean, he goes against his party when he votes sometimes. He is a principled voter, meaning, like, one example is he does not believe in sending a single dollar overseas when we have issues in America. And there you will see that even in the GOP, like, certain countries are like, no, we should send money here, we should send money here. He's like, nope, no money going overseas at all. It's not personal. This is just my personal perspective. And I just think that if I ran for president, I would run with Thomas Massie, or I would be his VP, I would be his press secretary, wherever he could have me in his administration, even, I would be game for it. He really is a wonderful guy.
It says a lot about you too, because I think Massey, not only with the voting, he's like you said, he lives off the farm. He's like all about raw milk. He always talks about food. But a lot of high-profile people in the GOP are just in Republican culture. I think the supporters like him and the voters have really come to respect him. But a lot of more high-profile people, they kind of just act like he doesn't exist because he's not that famous. So I think with your platform, for you to say stuff like that, I mean, that to me, that would put you ahead of a lot of people if you ever ran, because I think he's a real deal outsider, real deal like small government guy.
I told him, I said, anytime you want to run, pick me. If you don't run, or if I run, please promise me that you'll run with me. If you don't know about Thomas Massie, you should look into him. And I'm ashamed to say I didn't know that much about him really until 2 years ago. And I had him on my show, and I was just completely blown away. And I think you're right. I think a lot of it plays into fame. Whenever people are thinking about presidential contenders, they're always thinking about people that are super famous and not thinking about people that are super principled. And I think that that's probably an American flaw.
Right. Well, yeah, I look at some politics where there's some worse things about America, and then I look at Canada and I watch that debate, and I'm like, dude, the right winger is the left winger. I'm like, and then sometimes people comment on my Twitter and they're like soft, and they're like, I'm from Canada anyway, I can't vote. I'm like, thank God, leave that softness over there. We don't need that in our world.
Yeah, we have enough softness. We definitely do not need to extradite any softness from overseas.
When Thomas Massie came out against the CARES Act, I think the big thing that he was saying that he was worried about was people weren't able to vote in person, or they said they couldn't. And Thomas Massie was like, this is the most expensive bill we've ever passed of this kind, and people don't even want to come in to vote. And, Trump had tweeted that he's a second or third rate Republican. I can't remember what rate, and that, Massie should be kicked out of the GOP. And Thomas has always had like a
That's
good,
wild.
yeah, he always had a good attitude about it, but that is wild. I was going to ask what you thought about
Yeah,
that.
that's absolutely wild. The idea that Thomas Massie should be kicked out of the GOP is just something that should never be uttered by a single person who claims to be conservative. And now it's obviously Trump. He likes to do hot takes, and if he feels insulted, he kind of punches without even paying attention to who he's possibly punching. But that is a wild take. It is a garbage take. It should not be accepted by any conservative who follows Thomas Massie. He's wonderful.
On that note, I wanted to ask, because I thought, thanks for watching this clip. Feel free to watch the full episode or listen to the full episode on Dream Rare Podcast. It's on my main YouTube channel.